Welcome to the Fox 17 Rock Interview. I'm hanging out with the very talented Jason Richison. Now, he plays as the lead guitarist on Kelly's Country Junction, a cool music show where they have live music, great musicians, you know, fun. I mean, it's a cool show. I watched the videos.
Well, thank you, Eric. It is a blast being part of that, I have to tell you.
Well, and I appreciate you coming in, Jason, too, you know, driving all the way into Nashville to talk about the MJT guitars that you've been playing for a while. And Mark and Matt actually custom built this one for you.
That's right. They really make a fine guitar. I can't say enough good things about MJT, but what they specialize in is your custom aged finishes.
Right.
And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, a lot of times a musician like yourself or me will go into a guitar store and we'll see these vintage guitars hanging there and we just drool over them because they're so much money, but they're so cool. And over my career of playing, I've had some really nice looking guitars.
Sure.
But the one thing I never had and I always wanted was a vintage guitar. And I never was fortunate enough to have a grandfather or a father who played one to pass it down to me. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in the same boat. And I have to say, this has really filled that void for me. And it just gives you that vibe. And this guitar is actually only a couple months old, but it feels like an old friend to me.
Oh, it's beautiful. You know, and like you were talking also, Jason, not only do they relic the paint and everything also, but they relic the hardware, you know, on the instruments. They relic the fretboard and necks and the back of the necks. And I mean, the whole, you know, you can see right there on the back here where it has that relic played-in feel. But you're not paying the high cost of a vintage instrument.
That's right, and they also do kits. So like if you just want to buy a body from them or a neck that's all relic, you can do that, and you can actually send in your own guitar neck, body, or whole guitar, and they'll do that for you too. And I've played other relic brands, and I'll have to say these guys got their act down. Mark Jenny, he's the owner of the operation, and he started back in 1997.
Right.
And a lot of this techniques he figured out on his own. His son, Matt Jenny, actually helps him now, and they've got a real neat family-owned, operated business. They really have a passion for what they do there. And
it shows through.
It comes across.
Well, you know, I was talking to you off camera earlier to where some guys here in Nashville turned me on to them, to where I was looking for like a body and a neck to do some different projects, and that's how I started talking with Mark. And he's like, well, you know, I'm going to be doing full guitars also. Why don't we talk about those when they come out? And that's how I got to bring you on. And this is one of my favorite ones also, Jason. And I know this is a borrowed one, but this is the Buck Owens style.
That's right.
And now whose guitar is this?
Actually, that belongs to Kelly James
of
Kelly's Country Junction.
I'm being very gentle with it, Kelly, so you know, no guitars were harmed during the filming of this.
And as you can see there at MJT, they can do a wide variety. So if you like the plain vintage old style, they really specialize in that. But if you want more of a hot rodded look or like a Buck Owens style,
I love this.
They like I say, they have a passion for what they do there, and it comes across.
Yeah, I was already talking to Mark about ordering one like this, you know, and you brought a couple of other models with you also. We've got, you know, the Strat style here, you know, which is a beautiful sunburst with more of the relic body like you and I were talking about, and then also with the relic neck, and then I would say more of a 50s model, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
With the Telly style over there, and I'm a big fan of that.
Well, good. And you know, I've talked to other guitar players who have went to their website, mjtagedfinishes.com, and they've looked at the pictures, and they do a good job about laying out pictures of bodies, necks, the wear, the checking. And I've heard guys drool over them, and what I can tell you is just a normal guy that loves playing music is that the guitars in person are as good as they look
well, you know, that's what's incredible, because I spent a lot of time on the website, you know, checking out all the finishes, guitars and everything, and then playing them in person, actually grabbing, it's like great feel, and like you said, they really feel played in. Now, speaking of which, now you've got a solo album out also, and you brought a copy of that, and we're actually going to show that on screen right now. So from a Jack to a King. And you said you had some other great players with you on this also.
Yeah, these are all musicians from around the Joplin, Missouri area. There's some great pickers on there. And these are basically your traditional country done with some edgy guitar playing and just some good fun jamming music to it.
Well, you're going to have to leave a copy with me because I didn't get it before you came on. Now, where can they find a copy of that, and also to keep up with you and your other gigs and everything?
Well, probably the best way to keep track of me would just to go on Facebook and type my name, Jason Richison, and the last name is like Rich is on. It's a little unusual.
That's a good way to remember it.
But that's a good way to keep up with me, and if you would like to get a CD, you can also find how to get it through my Facebook page. So.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you know, I always like the videos you post too, you know, and with your visit to Nashville, Nashville has been so much fun with you and your wife, seeing you sit in with all the different bands down on Broadway and everywhere. I'm like, that is so cool.
It's been a blast. You got some real nice people here in Nashville, and I've had a great time. They've been kind enough to have me get up and jam with them, and boy, we have got to come back here. This is a great
next
place.
time I'm going to have to come visit you now.
Yes.
And come on Kelly's Country Junction and check that out.
And we're 8 miles from MJT in Carthage, Missouri, so we'll have to take you over there and give you a tour.
Both.
Yeah, that's right.
And I really appreciate you coming on, Jason. Be sure and check out these MJT guitars, whether you're looking for a full body build, like one of these guitars that Jason and I are holding, or if you're just looking for a body or a neck or something else. I think they're doing a great job, and they're not too pricey, so you can probably afford more than you think. So,
that's right.
Thanks for watching the Fox 17 Rock and Review.